Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session of Covidence 101. So today I'll give you a general overview of the Covidence platform, covering the main features and key areas for managing a review project in Covidence. And hopefully by the end of this session, you'll have a more solid understanding of how to navigate the platform and streamline your review process. I am your session presenter today. My name is Ten Grota, and I'm a community manager at Covidence, and I'm currently based in the Philippines. A bit of housekeeping before we begin. Today's session is being run in a standard webinar format, and so all webinar attendees will be muted. However, you can always ask questions at any time throughout the session by using the questions box that's on the right-hand side of your screen. We will have a Q&A at the end, and I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. However, if we run out of time, I will respond directly to everyone via email afterwards. If you registered to attend this webinar, you should receive a recording of this webinar by email within the next 24 hours. Okay, so let me just give you a little bit of background information before we jump in. So Covidence is a nonprofit organization that was created by and for the research community. The platform is designed to streamline the review process from title and abstract screening through to data extraction and risk of bias assessment. And so the platform allows our users or our review teams to significantly reduce the amount of time spent on reviews, meaning that people are able to produce high quality evidence faster. We are a full-time team based around the world, and we work continuously on improving the product and providing technical support to our global user community. The platform is entirely cloud-based, and we currently support the world's largest review community. And as you can see, we have about 500,000 users around the globe. Okay, so what are we covering today? So first, I'll show you how to create an account in Covidence or how to sign up. Next, we'll go through setting up a review project in Covidence, and then we'll go through the review process from importing of references, title and abstract screening, full text review, and also data extraction and quality assessment. We'll also have a look at the Prisma diagram and how to export that flowchart, and also how to export all the other data that we have collected in Covidence. Okay, so before we proceed, let me just run a quick opening poll just to gauge how confident you are about using Covidence. So let me just launch that. Okay, so you have three options there: very confident, somewhat confident, or not confident at all. I'll just allow a minute so that everyone can answer. Okay, so I'm just going to close the poll now. And let's look at the results. Okay, so, well, as you can see, we have the majority of us here are not confident at all, and some are somewhat confident. So this session is a good starting point, especially for our new users or our users who have not yet used Covidence at all. It's also a good refresher for some of you here who might have used Covidence before, but it's been a bit, a long time ago since we've used it. So thank you all for answering that. So let's now move on. Okay, so most people join Covidence via an invitation similar to this one. And so this example is an invitation to join an institutional account, University of Adelaide. But if you receive an invitation to join a review project, it will also look very similar to this one. So once you click the accept invitation button, you'll be taken to the main landing page for Covidence, where you can either sign in if you already have an account with us or create an individual user account. You can also sign up by clicking this free trial button here. And so you just have to fill up this information here. And we recommend that you use your professional or student email when creating your account, especially if you're joining Covidence to access an institutional account. And it also makes it easier for us to link your personal user account to an organizational subscription if something wrong happens. So you can add additional personal emails in your profile, and each account should be associated with only one individual or one member of your review team. You can have multiple emails, but you need to have only one person using one account in Covidence. Okay, so without any further ado, let me just set up our live demo. Okay, so once you've signed into your account, this is the first page that you'll be taken to. So this is the main dashboard for all the reviews that you're working on. Just gonna turn off my video. Okay, so again, this is the main dashboard for all the reviews that you're working on. You'll see that the reviews are listed separately depending on whether they are in your personal account or your institutional memberships. So under your profile, you can see any institutional membership that you have. And you can also update your email address by clicking your profile. And here you can add as many email addresses as you want, but it has to be your personal email. And all of these email addresses, you can choose which one will be your primary email. Just gonna go back here. Okay, so you can click this button here to create a new review and then fill in the information needed here. So the name of your review, it doesn't have to be formal or official. The only requirement is that it has to be unique. So the type of review that you'll be working on, any type of question that is related to your review, and the area of research that you'll be working on. Okay, and then here you can then select the account that you want to use, and you're ready to go. You just have to hit create review, and then a review will be created for you. I'm just gonna go back, and now I'm gonna go into a review that I'm a member of. Okay, so once you click that, this will be the first page that you see when you enter a review. And this is the review summary page. Okay, so this is the standard review project framework, which is automatically generated when you create a new review. When you start, this will all be zeros, just like this one here. Okay. And so there are three main steps in any Covidence review, which are your title and abstract screening, your full text review, and your data extraction. You can manage the review settings here, import references here. You can view your Prisma figure here, and you can also export data from your review summary page. Okay, so now let's begin by looking at how you can set up and manage the review to optimize your experience. So I'm going to click this settings button here. Okay, so as you can see, there are 5 tabs in settings, which help you to manage the review and also the review team. So in review settings, you can update details such as the title of your review. If you select medical and health sciences as your discipline or area of research, you'll also have the option to see some of the automation options here. Okay, so the Cochrane RCT classifier uses machine learning to save screening time while keeping you in control of the voting decisions. We'll go into them in detail when we get to the import part of this presentation. You can also select how the review is going to function, such as how many reviewers are required to screen. And that's for both title abstract screening and full text review. The default is 2 reviewers, but you can set that to only 1 reviewer. You can also choose an extraction tool here. So extraction 1 is usually the default tool. but you can also always change that to extraction 2 if that is the preference of your team. So what are the differences between the two? Extraction 1 is best suited for intervention reviews and requires 2 reviewers to complete data extraction and quality assessment. It's also recommended by Cochrane, and it exports directly to our RevMan web once you have completed your data extraction and quality assessment. Extraction 2 can be used for any review type, and that includes intervention reviews, qualitative reviews, systematic reviews, scoping reviews, and it also allows for single reviewer data extraction and quality assessment. For more information on automation tools, extraction tools, and the difference between single and dual reviewer mode, you can always visit our knowledge base. And so in every page of Covidence, you'll see this need help button here. Just have to click that, and then you can click this link here and it'll take you to the knowledge base. Another way is by clicking this question mark icon here and click the explore knowledge base link up here. Okay, next tab is the reviewers tab. And this is where you can invite and remove reviewers. If you have a paid account or part of an institutional account, you can invite an unlimited number of co-reviewers. Okay, and then this is the team settings tab here. And then this one gives you an overview of the team and individual progress. And that's for the screening stages of the review. That's for title and abstract screening and full text review. You can also set rules on who can screen and resolve conflicts, and that's for title abstract screening and full text review. So just by clicking this radio button here. So for example, if you want a specific member of your team to resolve a conflict in your review, then you can just select that one here. It's usually given to the most senior member of the team. And then here you can choose any member of your team who you want to undertake the screening process. Next is the eligibility criteria. And so this is where inclusion and exclusion criteria will be, and which you specify in your PICOT framework. And this can be displayed during screening to encourage a consistent approach across the team. And there's also a link to our knowledge base for more information, again, by clicking this button here. You can also add inclusion and exclusion keywords or phrases, which will appear as highlights when you screen. So inclusion keywords will be highlighted in green, and exclusion keywords will be highlighted in red. You can also manage your exclusion reasons for your full text review stage, which will also appear in your Prisma flow diagram. Okay, and finally, you can edit your study tags by clicking this tab here. And these are useful for identifying and filtering groups of studies. Okay, so that was a brief overview of the settings. We provide an in-depth information in our step-by-step series on setting up your review, and there's also additional information again through our knowledge base here. Just gonna go back out. Okay, so now let's look at the import function. So you can import an unlimited number of references. There is, however, a file size limit per batch of about 15,000 references, or about 50 megabytes of data. But you can import as many batches as necessary. Covidence currently supports 3 import formats for when you're importing files into Covidence, and those are EndNote XML format, the PubMed format, or the RAS text format. So here you can select the category or the stage or the step of the review process that you want the references to appear in. Most users will select screen to import them all into the title and abstract screening section. But if you have done screening outside of Covidence, you can also import citations directly into included excluded or the irrelevant sections of the project. You can keep track of which database or other source the references in your review came from by selecting the source from here. So for example, if you've imported references from Sinal, then you can just select that one there. And then you can also use manage sources to add any custom sources or new sources if you don't see the one in this list here. Okay, you then need to choose the locally saved file from your computer and then drag that file onto here and then click import. It is possible to undo an import through the import history tab. If you have not already started screening or activated any of our automation tools. If you have, then you will need to contact the support team. That's support@covidence.org, and we can reset the review for you. Upon import, Covidence automatically detects duplicate references against all studies within the import set and also against any previous imports in that review project. You can also manually mark any duplicates that slip through the net, and there's a link to a document here that explains how Covidence detects duplicates. If you opted to use the Cochrane RCT classifier, which automatically removes references not reporting on randomized controlled trials, you'll see these listed separately under the auto-marked duplicates, and they'll be marked as auto-marked as ineligible. You can disable this feature at any point in settings, which we have already discussed, and disabling the feature will cause all references automatically removed by the classifier to be moved back to the title and abstract screening step for manual screening. And again, this is for reviews being completed in the medical and health sciences area or discipline only. Okay, so more details on importing references is covered in our step-by-step webinar series on setting up your review, and also more information is available on automation options through our knowledge base. Okay, so let me just go back to the review summary page. And now let's have a look at your title and abstract screening section here. So as you can see on the left, you have the team progress bar. So this view is exactly the same for all reviewers working on your review. It gives an overview of where the review is at, whether someone is still working on it, or a reference has only received 1 vote, any conflicts, or those that have not received any votes yet. Okay, and then on the right-hand side, the number you see is going to depend on how much screening each reviewer has done and what is still available. So this is your own personal progress. Just gonna click continue here. So the most relevant sorting option is our default sorting option, and it helps move studies through to full text review stage sooner. This feature uses machine learning to identify trends in past screening behavior on the review. It also uses those trends to reorder the list and display the studies that are most likely to be included at the top. And so the more studies that you screen, the stronger the prediction will be. You can hide your abstracts, and you can also show that by clicking here. You can view your inclusion and exclusion criteria by clicking this one here. And you can also show or hide your highlights. So again, green means it's inclusion keyword or key phrase, and red means exclusion keyword or key phrase. Okay, so at this point you'll be making, I'm just gonna hide that. So at this point you'll be making no, maybe, or yes decisions based on your inclusion and exclusion criteria. Okay, so if I click no, Okay, so that reference will disappear from your screening list and will move to a different place in the review depending on how you voted. So if I vote no, then it will go to the irrelevant references. If I vote yes and my co-reviewer votes yes as well, it will move to the next stage of the review, which is full text. If there are conflicts, so one votes no and the other votes yes, then it will move to your resolve conflicts tab here. So if I make a mistake, then I can also undo that vote by clicking this button here. And again, if you're working in dual reviewer mode and you're the first person to vote, the reference will move to your awaiting other reviewer list here. And this is sort of like a holding bay for all the votes that you have made. And so once a second vote has been cast, you can no longer change your original vote. And that reference will move to the next stage of the review, again, depending on how you voted. So let's look at the Resolve Conflicts tab here. Okay, so references that have received two conflicting votes will be in this tab here. And so voting is blinded to minimize the risk of bias. And even if that reference goes into the Resolve Conflicts tab, your votes will still be blinded. And so you'll only be able to see you'll only be able to see who voted on these references, but how they voted. You can add and delete one or more tags to single or multiple studies using sorry, let me just go back there. Your checkbox, and you can filter by those tags as well. And so the filter box can also be used as a search button. So you can type in a keyword here and search for it within within either the author field, title and abstract, or everything within the title and abstract section. We also have the ability to make notes by clicking this link here. And so just a note that the tags and notes are visible for all reviewers, so this will not be blinded. It will be visible to anyone who is doing a review. Okay, let's now go back to your review summary page. So next is your full text review section. So this follows your title and abstract screening. And in this section, you can attach full text PDFs to studies. I'm just gonna click continue. So if the article is open access, Covidence will try to retrieve the PDF automatically when the study moves into full text. You can identify if a study has had an open access article uploaded by having the sentence here that says full text uploaded by Covidence, open access. Okay. And then for articles where no PDF is added automatically, you have a few options. First is by individual upload, and that's either by selecting a locally saved file or by using the drag and drop feature and dragging them directly onto the reference. If you do that, the system will show who uploaded the PDF, as you can see here. So this one was uploaded by a review team member and by another review team member. Excuse me. You can also follow the live DOI link to the source by clicking this link here, and then it'll take you to the journal. And if you have subscription, if your university or your organization has subscription to that journal, then you should be able to download the PDF from there. And the last option is your bulk PDF upload. So you export the file, the list of studies that still need full text. You then import it to your reference manager, EndNote or Zotero. You use that reference manager to source the PDF, export PDF, and XML to a local drive, and then bring everything back into Covidence. Okay, so I won't go into these processes in detail because it will take quite a long time, but we have detailed instructions for this on our knowledge base. Okay, so as you can see, the only voting option in full text review are now just include and exclude. There's no maybe button. If you vote to exclude, you are now prompted to give a reason. And so this is the list of reasons that we saw in settings. And you can also edit that list here if needed. Showing and hiding your abstracts, filtering, and tagging, and all the other features aligned with what we saw in the title and abstract screening. Okay, now let's look at the, so if two reviewers voted two different votes, then that reference will move to your resolve conflicts tab. And at full text review, you will encounter two different types of conflict. The first one is when reviewers agree to exclude, but for different reasons, like this one. So both reviewers voted, excuse me, exclude, but they provided two different exclusion reasons. So now, as if you are the person that has been assigned to resolve the conflict, you'll have to come here and make that final decision. And that reference again will move to the next stage of the review depending on how you voted. The other conflict is when reviewers do not agree on exclusion or exclusion. So one reviewer voted include and the other voted exclude. And so if again you're the person that was assigned to resolve conflicts, you'll have to come here as well to make that final decision. And so again, we run a separate webinar in our step-by-step series that provides more details on how to undertake title and abstract screening and also full text review. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to the review summary page. Okay, so once we have our included studies, the next step now is the data extraction. And so here you'll typically have a much smaller set of references than in the previous stages. And as I mentioned earlier, there are two options for data extraction in Covidence. We have extraction 1 and extraction 2, and the benefits of each of those options. What you're seeing here is extraction 2. Okay, so you will need to create and publish templates for data extraction and quality assessment before you can start your data extraction. And so the first time you enter the data extraction section, these buttons will be blue. So I'm just going to show you how it looks like. Okay, so these templates or forms will be blue the first time you enter, indicating that you need to set up the form and publish it before you can start your data extraction. And then they will turn white once you have published your template. So on the left side, you'll see the name of the studies, and on the right side, the extraction status of the individual studies. Okay, you can see here what you have extracted or are in the process of extracting, whether somebody else is completing extraction, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the page is split into 5 tabs as I've shown here. And so the ones that have not been started, the ones that are underway, those that require consensus, and those ones that are finished. Let's now have a quick look at the data extraction template. Okay, so this is a basic template that is built into the system and is completely customizable. You can build on this, or you can start from scratch with your own template by clicking this link here. So you'll see a preview on the right of how the form will look for your reviewers. You can edit section headings by just typing straight onto them. And you can add items beneath by clicking on the plus symbol here. So you can add a text field, heading, subheading, single choice checkbox, checkbox list, multiple choice list, or table. You can also reorder this list by dragging and dropping. Sorry. Okay, and you're also able to add any additional instructions here in the item section for your reviewers. And then you can edit this template as many times as you like, and you can do that before and after you've started work on your data extraction. Any sections you add will be applied to the form for all the references. And so if you remove any sections from the form, this will also delete the extracted data for those sections. So once you finalize your data extraction form, you can then click publish here. And excuse me, this makes it available to the other reviewers on your team. You'll get a warning if any studies have been completed or are in progress to let you know that updating the template will apply the changes to all those references as well. Just gonna go back out. Okay, so now let's have a look at your quality assessment template here. So this is automatically pre-populated by the Cochrane Risk of Bias tool version 1. But you can also start from scratch and adapt your own, or choose to use this template and add any quality assessment rating or judgment, or even choose to change the domain. Okay, so this is useful if you're looking at observational or qualitative studies. And then you can save and publish your template in the same way that I've shown for your data extraction. Now, when you've published those templates, you will then see this begin consensus button here. You can then now click it, and then you can start your data extraction. Okay, so you'll see the PDF on the left and the extraction form on the right. Oh, sorry, this is consensus. Let's do begin extraction. This one, sorry. So you'll see the full text PDF here, and then your extraction form on the right. So you can toggle between your data extraction form and your quality assessment form here. Okay, and once you've completed that, you can either save if you want to come back to that later, or send for consensus if you have already completed your data extraction. We have also recently improved the PDF viewing experience during data extraction. You can now zoom in and zoom out and search for any terms within the file. You can also copy and paste, and you can paste that onto your form here. Okay, and now once you decide that you're ready to make your completed form available to your core reviewers for solving consensus, then you can then click send for consensus. Just gonna go back. And they'll appear here. And then you can click begin consensus. And so here you can see 3 columns. Okay, one for the final decision, one for reviewer 1, and one for reviewer 2. Where the answers for reviewers 1 and 2 are exactly the same, the final decision column is automatically pre-populated. Okay, and any discrepancies are highlighted in purple. So if you see any discrepancies, you can then select which data you would like to use by clicking that. Or you can also type in your own answer, overriding the other data in this field. Okay, so once that's all done, you can now click complete, and it is now ready to export data. We recommend that if you are assessing quality as well as data extraction, that you wait until all data are collected before going to consensus. Just gonna go back. Now, if you have conducted your data extraction in single reviewer mode, that means only one reviewer is required to complete data extraction. There will be no consensus stage. Okay, but you would be prompted to check your data before you finalize and complete it. Just gonna go back out. Okay, so you can export various data from your review. You can export lists of references at any stage of review, and that's in a variety of formats. The CSV option will export all your tags. That will also export the reasons for exclusion when exporting your excluded studies. You can also export CAPA scores for inter-rater reliability information, and that's for both title abstract screening and full text review, and this will export in CSV format. You can also export the CSV file of the data that have been gathered during the data extraction process. So once you have completed extracting your data and reached consensus, you have several options for the data you want to export. The default is consensus data only, but as you can see that there are other options. Okay, when you're using extraction 1, or if you're doing a Cochrane review, you'll see an option to export information in a format that can be exported directly into RevMan, and those tabs will appear here. Okay, just going back. Okay, so finally, I'll show you the Prisma button here, which displays the Prisma flowchart workflow. And so this will be automatically updated as you work. You can see that there's also a breakdown of the reasons for exclusions and also your import sources here. Okay, so you can export raw data and an editable docx file that aligns closely with the Prisma 2020 statement. Or you can download it as a docx file. Okay. And so that completes the overview of our review project framework in Covidence. Again, in every page of Covidence, you'll see a need help button here. So you can either send us an email if you are in a hurry and you want an answer as soon as possible, or you can explore our knowledge base here by typing any, for example, if you want to watch any webinars that we have, you can click that one here and it'll show you any upcoming webinars that we have. You can also choose to open that in a separate browser. So these are our upcoming webinars. This is the one we're doing now. We have a data extraction 1 webinar as well. And this is our step-by-step series that I have mentioned. So step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We also have community webinars that might be of interest to you. And you can also view the recordings of all our previous webinars here. So these are our Covidence 101 webinars here. We have the step-by-step series here. and community webinars here. Okay, let's just go back here. Just gonna close that. Okay, so let me just run again another poll. So this is our closing poll. So following the webinar, how confident do you feel now about using Covidence for your review? So you have the same options here: very confident, somewhat confident, or not confident at all. I'm just gonna allow a minute for everyone to answer. That's 1 minute. Let me just close the poll and share you the results. Okay, so as you can see, we can see like a positive shift here from what we saw in the beginning. So this is a good sign. My next, well, my suggestion now is for you to also view some of our recordings, especially the step-by-step series, which provides a more in-depth explanation of each stage of the review project in Covidence. And again, let me just close this, sorry. So again, our knowledge base is a great resource, very comprehensive to using Covidence. It covers every aspect of the system, and there are lots of videos and articles there. So that is a very good place to take a look at in the first instance. And again, you can, sorry, you can click the question icon here to explore our knowledge base, and every page of Covidence will have this need help button here. Okay, so let's now have a look at your questions. Just give me a second here. Okay, so we have a question from Maria. So no bib text. So if you're referring to import, then unfortunately, these are the only file formats that we have at the moment. Our product team is currently working on improving or expanding the options for import, and yeah, unfortunately at the moment these are the only file import formats that we have. At the title and abstract stage, is there a way to view studies in bulk via their tags? Okay, let me just go back to title and abstract. So tagging is only for tagging a specific well, a set of references. For example, if you want to use them for your background reading, so you can tag them as that, and then when you filter and search for those, then you can easily find them. Unfortunately, you cannot use the tag function for screening because, well, the main reason is that you'll have to go through each reference and make sure that you vote on them separately, which ultimately reduces the voting bias as well. Okay, so we have a question from Bridget. So thanks for showing us the drop-down menu, medical and health sciences. Are there other options for types of reviews, for example, in social sciences? So yes, you have other options here. Let me just show that. So these are the disciplines that we have here. And you can always choose other if this is not on the list. So you can type social sciences here if that is. Hope that answers your question. Okay. Okay, another question. I have imported 20 studies to Covidence, but I only could find full text for 7 and the rest remaining without being able to extract the data. So how can I move forward? What should be the next step? How may I generate the flowchart? After data extraction completed, will Covidence provide me any table of the data I've extracted? So I'll answer the first one. So, oh, sorry. So for your first question, I have imported 20 studies to Covidence, but I could only find full text for 7. I'll need to have a look at your review project, Priyanjan, and then I'll answer you privately. For your next question, how may I generate the flowchart? So the flowchart is automatically generated. So the references will, sorry, the numbers here will accurately display those references depending on which stage they are at when you are doing a review. Hope that makes sense. After data extraction completed, will Covidence provide me any table of the data I have extracted? So yes, you can. Let's just go back to the review summary page here. So click this export button here, and then you have to then choose which type of data you want. So if you want all data of both your data extraction and your quality assessment and all the data that was extracted by reviewers 1 and 2, you can click all data, prepare file, and then you can then download that. Okay. What happens with references that are not on open source platforms? How can they be used in Covidence? So because of international copyright, we are not allowed to import automatically, or sorry, upload automatically references that are not open access. So you will have to search for them using your university subscription and then upload that reference or that study onto um, the specific reference that you have in your review. Can you give us an idea on the amount required for an individual account for a year, monthly, or possibly for a lifelong user? So you can search for our pricing here. And so for our single subscription, you have $289 per year package, which is good for 3 reviews. That's $867 per year. And if you are looking at subscribing to an organizational account, then you can email us and we'll send you the details, and I'll also refer you to our director of sales for that. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for your presentation. Is there a discount for the individuals? So yes, we do provide discounts for users who are based in lower middle income countries and also from upper middle income countries. So for lower middle income countries, we provide 50% discount. And for those that are based in an upper middle income country, that's based on the World Bank. Okay, so this is the list that we're following. So if you are based in a low income economy or lower middle income economy, then we provide 50% off. And if you are a country that is considered upper middle income, so we provide 25% off. And we also provide discounts for people who are undertaking reviews that is related to, or sorry, that are related to COVID. And we have a few initiatives as well. You just have to email us, and then we'll let you know how we can help you with your review project, Mohammed. Okay, is the Covidence free to use? I'm a researcher in India and wish to use Covidence for my systematic literature review. Please guide me. Yes, Vidya, you can send us an email, and then I'll give you a reply in private. But yeah, basically you can use Covidence for free, but there is a limit. So you can only import 500 references per review project. And if you need to import more than 500, then yeah, you will need a subscription from us. Or no worries, Vidya. Okay, any other questions that you may have? So for your other question, Priyanjan, I'll send you an email privately, and also Vidya. Okay, we have another question here. Is it possible to use one account for more than one person? So the recommendation is that one user, I'm sorry, every user in a review team needs to have their own personal user account in Covidence. That is so that each one of you can collaborate separately. Um, yeah, so one user account per user in Covidence. I would like to know how the machine learning works that assist in the screening votes. Okay, so in this article, you can see how machine learning works. And so I'm just going to read it. So it uses an active learning an active learning model developed by this organization to identify trends in your team's past screening behavior on the review to determine and display the studies that are most likely to be included first. So the behavior of the AI will depend on how many studies you have screened. So the more studies you screen, the stronger the system's prediction will be. Thank you very much. Very informative. Looking forward to the video recording. Okay, no worries, Eric. Could you please provide us the recordings? Yes, Vidya. So everyone who has registered to attend this webinar will receive a recording within the next 24 hours. Many thanks, very helpful. No worries, Cynthia. Thanks for attending. Okay, so I guess that's it. Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna show this one to you. So what to do next? So after this session, you can either join an organizational license if you're a member, or if you're a student in an organization that is a member of Covidence to check. I'll just show you how to check if you are a member of our, sorry, just go institution. So these are the institutional subscribers that we have. So you can check if you are a member of our of any of our organizational accounts here. And then you can now create and set up a review. You can test your review project, and then you can also sign up for a next webinar, especially our step-by-step series, which will be really helpful so that you will have a more comprehensive understanding of each stage of the review. Okay, so we're now close to the hour. So if you still have any questions, you can always contact the support team, and that's support@covidence.org. And yeah, it was my pleasure to join you all today. Thank you all so much for your time, and I hope that this webinar has been helpful in making you feel a bit more at ease in using our platform. Thank you all. Goodbye.